Now on YouTube, it's time for some alternative commentary action with the Commenttary Hub.
There's headed by Marina, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look for that point! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Now on YouTube.
Welcome along to the Commenttary Hub's coverage of this Premier League encounter between Brentford and Manchester City. The team is ready to come out onto the tunnel. So just one final thing for me to do, introduce our match commentary team of audience. But first I'm going to say a quick hello to our match co-commentator Bruno Winton. Bruno, this should be a good game today, shouldn't it, between Brentford and Man City?
Yeah, thanks for having me, Ross. It's going to be a good game. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of goals involved. Manchester City only 10 points from the opening 6 games, and Brentford have a chance to equal that with a win today.
Yes, absolutely, Bruno. Absolutely, you can see that today. So then, one final thing for you too. Then, cheers for that, Bruno. Bruno, just before we do let you go, just to join Paul in a second. Score prediction, mate. What do you reckon the score's going to be today?
Ooh, I think there's going to be quite a few goals in this one. I'm going to go 3-1 for Manchester City.
Thank you very much, there, Bruno. So now time to join the match commentary team of Bruno Winter. But first, Paul James.
Thank you, Russ. And yes, it's nice to have you back, Bruno. And our first job of the day is to go through the team lineups. Starting with the home team, Brentford, they line up as follows with goalkeeper Caoimhin Kelleher in goal. The back four is Aaron Hickey, Nathan Collins, Sepp Vandenberg, Christopher Ayer and Michael Coyote, a back five actually for Brentford. The midfielders are Mikael Damsgaard, Jordan Henderson and Igor Yarmouk, or Igor Yarmouk as it's pronounced. Kevin Schade and Igor Thiago are playing up front. For Manchester City, well, they've hit form recently. Certainly the last 3 victories have brought goals in the league, a lot of them. They line up as follows with Gianluigi Donnarumma in goal. Nico O'Reilly, Josko Gvardiol, Ruben Diaz, the captain. Mateus Nunes is the back four. Rodrigo in the holding midfield role with Oscar Bob, Phil Foden, Tiani Reiners and Savinho playing behind leading goal scorer Erling Haaland. So the referee today is Darren England. He's from Doncaster in South Yorkshire. Scott Ledger, Nick Greenhall, Andy Madley and Paul Howard and Alex Chilovitz are among the officials today. Paul Howard and Alex Chilovitz are in VAR. And, well, looking at the substitutes for these two teams, both of them have gone top-heavy in the midfielders. For Brentford, Hakon Valdemarsson is the backup goalkeeper, Rico Henry and Ethan Pinnock are defenders on the bench there for Brentford. Fabio Cavallo, Vitaly Janelt, Matthias Jensen, Frank Onyeka and Keane Lewis Potter, as well as Dango Utara is on the bench today. For Manchester City, they have gone with James Trafford as the backup goalkeeper, Nathan Ake, John Stones and Rico Lewis, Ryan Cherky, Mateo Kovacic, Nico Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva, and the only lone forward on the bench is Jeremy Doku. Looking at those two lineups, Bruno, do you still feel right now that City are in the best possible position to win?
Yeah, I think so. I think, especially when you look at that bench, Manchester City have that firepower if they need it to come on. Brentford reverting to a back five after a really impressive 3-1 home win against Manchester United. They've taken out the exciting Dango Ouattara and put in Christopher Ayer and an extra centre-back. And I think it's going to be tough for Manchester City to break them down, but they should have the quality up in those forward areas to do so.
All right, well, these two teams have only met each other a grand total of 21 times. Brentford have only won 7 of those games, 12 won by Manchester City and 2 draws. The first time they met each other was on January the 23rd in 1932 in an FA Cup 4th round game, which Manchester City won 6-1. Interestingly enough, that was the same year that Al Capone goes to prison. And he's not convicted of murder, he's not convicted of robbery or extortion, he's convicted of income tax evasion. So that just lets you know the priorities in America at that time. So the players gathering together at the centre circle. City in their blue shirts, sky blue shirts, white shorts and sky blue socks. Brentford also in their traditional colours of red and white stripes, black shorts and white socks. They're going to be getting the game up. Leisure complex here in West London, and it's really quite nice, isn't it, Bruno?
It is. It's a nice Sunday afternoon game to round off this side of Premier League fixtures before the international break. And I think we've got goals in our hand.
I would expect so, yes. The game is underway now, and it's dropped back to Nathan Collins. And he drops the ball down here to Aaron Hickey. Hickey launches the ball forward. Oh, that's dealt with well by Josko Gvardiol. And here's Phil Foden. He flicks the ball on there to Savinho. Good challenge that time by the number 22, Nathan Collins. Puts the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Manchester City. Brentford starting as they're meaning to go on here. Gvardiol plays the ball over to Nico O'Reilly, who's been impressing on that left-back position. Certainly it can't be long, Bruno, before Nico O'Reilly really breaks into the England squad.
Yeah, you'd expect so. I mean, for seeing that Miles Lewis-Skelly seems to be getting in without playing much for Arsenal, you'd expect Nico O'Reilly on a similar side, if he carries on these good performances, to get a chance for Thomas Tuchel.
Well, Savinho drops the ball back there to Mateus Nunes. Nunes across to Ruben Diaz. Here's Gvardiol over the halfway line now for Manchester City. First venture really into the Brentford half field, where they have some significant possession. And here's O'Reilly, drops the ball back to Gvardiol again. Gvardiol drops it back to Ruben Diaz. It's across to Nunes now over the halfway line. Diaz again. And bringing this ball under control here is Savinho. Savinho just drops the ball back to Mateus Nunes. And it goes in the end all the way back to Gianluigi Donnarumma, the Italian number 1. Arguably the best goalkeeper in the world at this time, I would say. And here is Diaz now. Just patient play by Manchester City. Mateus Nunes lifts the ball over the top, looking for Erling Haaland, but the big Norwegian just lost his footing there, and it goes through to Caoimhin Kelleher, the former Liverpool goalkeeper, and he releases the ball to Nathan Collins. Here's Aaron Hickey. Hickey just steps away from Nunes and drops the ball back to Kelleher again, and plays the ball downfield. Kelleher, interesting that he's now getting first team football. I've been impressed with him, Bruno, when I have seen him play for Liverpool. Good signing this for Brentford.
Yeah, I certainly think so. An Ireland international. He had always impressed, certainly playing in those cup games for Liverpool and when Alisson was out injured. And he's come to Brentford and he's made a positive impact.
The ball is out of play now for a throw-in. It's Keith Andrews' side. Really, many were expecting them to get relegated this season, given the loss of Thomas Frank and Visser and also the other fella to Manchester United. I've forgotten his name now. Well done, Paul. Bueno, thank you, Bruno. And loss of those players has been key for Brentford, but they still have performed very, very well this season so far.
Yeah, and I think Keith Andrews has had a really positive impact on the club. I think a lot of people raised eyebrows at that appointment, his first job in managerial. But he's had a decent start so far in Brentford. I'm sure if they can get any points today, that would be a massive bonus.
It's a long throw there. Run comfortably by Gvardiol. O'Reilly tries to clear the ball, but only manages to find Damsgaard. And now trying to just break down the left-hand side for Brentford there is Kevin Sharner, but that ball is given back to Manchester City. And it goes back to the goalkeeper, courtesy of the number 16, Rodrigo. Manchester City certainly glad to have him back. And here's Tiani Reiners. Reiners plays the ball out to the right-hand side, and it's with the number 33 there. O'Reilly plays the ball back there to Gavardio. Gavardio drop back to Ruben Diaz. Diaz back to Mateus Nunes. And down to the number 24 there, Gavardio again. It's back with Diaz. Diaz tries to play the ball and he finds Erling Haaland. It's a good pass. Here's Foden down the left-hand side looking for Savinho. Savinho checks back. Finds Foden again this time. Here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly to Diaz. Diaz holds the ball up and he gives the ball to Reiners. Reiners turning away there from Damsgaard. It's back now with Nunes. Here is Oscar Bob. Back again now with Rodri. Rodri, the short pass there to Reiners. Reiners just trying to turn away from the number 6 there for Brentford, which is Henderson. The ball is played into the penalty area, and Tiana Reiners just looking to get on the end of that, but that's actually really good defending there by Nathan Collins, and just shielding out Reiners. And the goalkeeper takes it quickly. It's cleared away now downfield. Heads go up to win that one. It's won there by Rodri. Rodri picks up the ball again. It's midway inside the Brentford half of the field. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Foden. Back to Rodri again. Rodri steps back. Gives it to Ruben Diaz. Diaz across there to Mateus Nunes. Nunes has got Reiners alongside him. That's good play by the Dutchman. It's going to be part of Holland's World Cup qualifying campaign in their next few games. Here's Oscar Bob. Back to Oscar Bob there from Mateus Nunes. And Nunes just drops the ball back into the centre circle to Diaz. Here's Gavardiol. Gavardiol plays a short pass to Nico O'Reilly. And this is the thing with Manchester City, isn't it, Bruno? This is patient build-up. Here's Foden now, though. Foden with a shot, and it's blocked. And that has come off Jordan Henderson, the former Liverpool player. Corner to Manchester City. About the start you expected, Bruno?
Yeah, certainly. Manchester City with most of the ball. Brentford sitting off and sitting back, and they're strong in set pieces, so they'll definitely dare Manchester City to try and score from a corner. They've got height in that defence, and they'll try and clear this.
Phil Foden is about to take the corner here on the left-hand side. He's going to outswing this one. And the heads go up there, and it's Ruben Diaz who gets the header, but it's a comfortable save by Caoimhin Kelleher. And he just holds on to the ball for a moment. And early on, you can see the patient build-up by Manchester City as they try and break down this Brentford rearguard. Ball is dropped back here. And it's a long clearance there by Collins. Collins chasing this one forward. And it's the number 9 for Brentford closing in on that, Thiago. And, well, it's behind for a goal kick. Thiago was in an offside position anyway. And a goal kick for Manchester City. So far, Brentford at the moment sitting in 13th position. Just one game under 500. They've had 2 wins, 1 draw and 3 defeats, and they're on 7 points. The ball is played forward there, looking for Erling Haaland. Haaland just trying to get inside the defence, so he's done well as Haaland created a chance for himself, and he scores! Erling Haaland gives Manchester City the lead on 8 minutes, and it came the way that you would expect Manchester City to score. Playing it out from the back, the ball to Haaland, and he was able to keep his feet. He's such a strong and quick forward. He was able to stay on his feet, create the chance for himself in the penalty area, and put the ball in the net. And you can see here the pass from Rodri. It was a long ball forward, and Haaland, well, just manages to beat Collins in the defence here. Look at this, Bruno. He was just able to keep his feet well there, very strong. Would you say Collins should have been perhaps maybe a little bit stronger there?
Yeah, I mean, it's just brilliant, classic Erling Haaland work. Ball played into him. Not much of a quality ball, but he just does so much with it. He tangles with Vandenberg, beats him for power, beats him for pace, gets him behind that back line, and finishes with pure class. Brilliant start for Manchester City.
Well, they lead by 1-0 already, and it's perhaps a start that Brentford wouldn't have wanted. And an opportunity for Manchester City to silence the home crowd a little bit. Here's Collins, goes back to the goalkeeper, Weaving Kelleher. Here's Vandenberg. And he goes back to the goalkeeper, and Kelleher releases it quickly, looking for Aaron Hickey. He goes up in an aerial battle with Mateus Nunes, and he just about wins that. And it's flicked on by Rodri, and that's returned to the goalkeeper there by Igor Yarmolenko. And here's Henderson. Henderson across there to Christopher Ayer. Henderson again. Back to the goalkeeper. And it's now with Aaron Hickey. He just tries to step back. It's a good ball by Hickey. Flicked on there to Kevin Schade as well. But Schade is dispossessed now, and Manchester City have the ball. And once they get the ball, Bruno, I mean, already they're at 77% possession. Once they get the ball, they're very, very it's just so difficult to get it off them, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's a nightmare start for Brentford, because at least when it's at 0-0, you're still in the game a little bit. But this is where Man City, they can really just grab you by the throat and not let go. Manchester City, 10 minutes in, already 1-0 up, and they're definitely going to be pushing for more.
It's back with the goalkeeper Donnarumma, and Phil Foden has given the ball away. And now Brentford have the ball here with Damsgaard. Damsgaard holds the ball up. He's got options left and right. He gives it the short ball to Henderson. And the ball is out to the right-hand side. It's crossed into the middle by Yarmolenko. And Thiago not able to get there. Finally, it's won by O'Reilly and played to Rodri. And Rodri tries the long ball looking for the chasing Savinho, but the ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Brentford. Sloppy play around the edge of their own area there, Manchester City, proving that they are human, Bruno.
Yeah, and these are the areas where Manchester City, they've just got to be a bit on the ball. They're 1-0 up. Just take care of that ball, move it quickly, move it in those forward areas. And they will get more chances, Manchester City, but they've just got to hope that Brentford don't get one and take it.
Well, it's back with the goalkeeper, Kelleher. Vandenberg, back to Kelleher again. Releases this ball short to Collins. Here's Hickey. Hickey holds the ball up, plays the ball to Damsgaard, who very nearly gave it away to Erling Haaland, but he keeps possession well, does Damsgaard. He's got the ball now, tries to play it to Hickey. Hickey tries to play the ball back there to Henderson. Henderson, well played by him. This is good by Brentford, keeping possession, good passing. Henderson plays the ball forward, looking for Kevin Schade. Can he keep that ball in play, Schade? He can't. It goes behind for a goal kick. Just a bit too much on that pass there, Bruno, by Henderson. And Schade just not able to reach that.
Yeah, but it's better from Brentford finally getting a little bit of the ball for the first time in this game. And that's what we expect from them, to go direct, have Henderson in that sort of quarterback position, really. And putting those long balls into the forward areas.
Oh, it's interesting by Donnarumma there. His clearance did not look very good, but City keep possession. And here's Mateus Nunes storming over the halfway line for Manchester City. And it's a super ball over down to the right-hand side, to the left-hand side to Savinho. Savinho drops the ball back there to Reines. It's back with Savinho now. Savinho back with Reines to O'Reilly. O'Reilly gets the ball again off Ruben Diaz. Here is O'Reilly. Manchester City knocking the ball around midway inside the Brentford half of the field. It's out to the left-hand side to Savinho. At the moment, it's almost like a training session with Manchester City just keeping possession, knocking the ball around patiently, waiting for holes to appear in that Brentford defence. Here's Nunes. Drops the ball down the right-hand side to Oscar Bob. Bob drops the ball back there to Nunes. And Rodri. Nunes again. Back into the centre circle. And picked up there by Ruben Diaz. It's one-touch football by Manchester City. Possession football in the Brentford half of the field. And this is superb play. Here's Haaland. Out here to O'Reilly. O'Reilly back to Reines. Reines with a shot, and it's just over the crossbar. But that really was good football by Manchester City, Bruno.
Yeah, just lovely touch and go from Manchester City. Right on the edge of the Brentford box. They move it around really nicely. It was a wayward shot in the end by Reinders, but they really need to get into those positions again because we know how dangerous Brentford can be just from one long ball, one set piece, one running behind. Manchester City really need that second goal cushion.
Well, the patient build-up by Manchester City, it really is almost been like a training ground match, really. And the Manchester City fans are just looking at that goal again by Haaland. Just the strength, power, and speed of Erling Haaland. He really is a complete striker. And here's Rodri, plays the ball over the halfway line to Foden. Foden playing Haaland through again. Haaland has got space in the penalty area. Plays the ball across Haaland. It's cleared away by Hickey. Only as far as Yarmouk. Yarmouk drops the ball back there. And now perhaps Coyote can play the ball away. And he picks up Hickey again. Hickey plays the ball forward, looking there for Sharda. Sharda being forced back towards his own goal. He plays it through the legs of Oscar Bob, but they've given the ball away again. And Haaland inside the penalty area. This time they deal with him a little bit better. And now Brentford can move away with Coyote. Michael Coyote over the halfway line. He's got time and space. It's a long ball looking for Thiago in the penalty area. It's just away from the Brazilian. But he picks it up now down the left flank. Drops the ball back to Damsgaard. Damsgaard picked up there by the number 2 Hickey. Henderson plays the ball across to Vandenberg. Out wide to Coyote. He's operating almost as a right wing back. Henderson plays the ball over the top again, this time looking for Coyote. It looks like it came off Nico O'Reilly. So it's going to be Brentford's first corner of the game. And Bruno, that's once again nice bit of cameo possession football by Brentford.
It is a nice little spell for Brentford there. Just moments after Erling Haaland almost getting in with a chance to make it 2-0. Brentford up the other end, and we know how dangerous they are in set pieces. Will they make this corner count?
Well, we'll see from this corner, which is going to come in from the right-hand side. As Vandenberg is in the box, Reines is in there, Collins is in there. All of them looking for a chance to get Brentford back in this game. Just trying to see who it is who's gone over on the far side to take it. I think it's, I'm not quite sure who that is, but he's got the ball back now. And it's swung into the box and it's blocked there well. And picked up in the centre of the park there. Hooked into the air there by Collins. And it's just comfortably left for Donnarumma in the Manchester City goal. And it's Matheus Nunes. Drops the ball back to Ruben Diaz. And here is 24 Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol over the halfway line. It's out wide to Nico O'Reilly. And here's Savinio. And Tiani Reines. Here's Reines again. As once again City just knocking the ball around comfortably here. It's Gvardiol and Reines playing tic-tac-toe at the moment. Back into the City half of the field, and now it's with Matheus Nunes. Nunes just trying to skip away from Damsgaard. Oh, that's well played by Nunes. Plays the ball forward to Foden. Foden drops the ball back to Reines. Down to Oscar Bob down that right-hand side. It's with Reines again. Back to Bob. Bob, is he going to place the ball across there, looking for Foden with a shot, and it's a comfortable save by Queven Kelleher. But once again, really dangerous build-up by Manchester City, Bruno.
Yeah, really nice play, really nice intricate between Bob and Foden and Reinders. And the shot, you probably expect a little bit more from Phil Foden, right on the edge of the box, just not powerful enough to trouble Kelleher.
Well, at the moment, they are definitely looking the most threatening of Manchester City. Playing the game their way at the moment. Brentford are standing off Manchester City as well. That isn't helping their cause, I don't think, allowing City to play their game. And Gavardio puts the ball out of play. The referee has called a stoppage for some reason. I'm not sure exactly what this is all about. It looks like it's Rodri, who is just struggling a bit. I just wonder if he's okay. Stays on his feet and taking this opportunity at the stoppage. He's gone down, or he's clutching the back of his hamstring. That doesn't look good for Manchester City, Bruno.
No, we obviously know the impact that Rodri has as a Ballon d'Or winner, and for good reason. Whenever he's in the side, Manchester City tend to win, and this could be problematic for the Citizens.
Well, we've seen the record of him in the squad versus the record with him not in the squad. It really makes Manchester City look almost from an unbeatable team to just I wouldn't say an average team. I don't think that's fair on the rest of the players, but they go beyond world class, I think, when Rodri is in the lineup. When they come out, when Rodri is out of the lineup, it's not quite the same team, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, with him in the lineup, they're perennial winners in every competition, really. And without him, we saw how much they struggled last season. He's such an excellent player in the heart of that midfield, and it looks like he's going to have to come off, and it'll be a big miss.
He looks like he is coming off. Yes, there's a substitute there on the bench. I'm just trying to see who that is. But Rodri looks absolutely dejected, and you can't help but feel sorry for him. He's been plagued with injuries this last couple of years, and it's Nico Gonzalez who is coming on, so it's like for like, but you really have to feel for Rodri, Bruno.
Yeah, he's been plagued with injuries these last 12-18 months, starting obviously with that massive cruciate injury that had him out for pretty much all of last season, and this season just knocks and niggles just happening for him. But Manchester City, they need to regroup. Brentford's midfield is powerful, it's strong, and Manchester City, they're going to have to equal that with Nico now.
I just wonder if they're going to drop to a 4-3-3 now for Manchester City, but we'll wait and see whether that happens. Here's Savinio for Manchester City, just trying to get away from Christopher Ayer. Well, he does, but Christopher Ayer just gets a touch on it, and the ball goes out of play for a throw into Manchester City. It's taken quickly. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Gavardio. And it's back to Gavardio now, actually. And across to Mateus Nunes. Nunes out wide here to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob drops the ball back there to the number 3, Ruben Diaz, as Manchester City just keeping possession again, and they've almost given the ball away. A clattering challenge on Savinio there by Seth Vandenberg, Christopher Ayer rather. There was nothing wrong with the challenge in terms of its legality, but it really was a solid challenge there. But I think the referee has in fact given a free kick. I actually thought that challenge was okay.
Yeah, I think he just came in from behind, and whenever you come in from behind, it always feels like they're going to give the foul, even if you do get the ball. But it was. We were saying Brentford, they're a powerful, strong team, and they're going to try and impose their will on Manchester City.
That might be the only way forward for them, because if you look, there is definitely what we've seen so far in this game. There is a difference in class. The ball is launched into the penalty area. It's headed out, but only as far as Phil Foden, helped along its way by Henderson. Thiago tries to lift the ball forward to the chasing Kevin Schade, but that was really well read by Josko Gavardio. And here's Mateus Nunes. As I'm just trying to see how they are holding the shape for Manchester City. It does look like they've gone to a 4-3-3. The ball is played forward there, looking for Erling Haaland. It's read well by Caoimhin Kelleher, and he releases the ball here to Jordan Henderson. And Henderson drops the ball back to Kelleher again. Here's Nathan Collins now. Just puts his foot on the ball, trying to slow the game right down. He goes back to the goalkeeper Kelleher. And Manchester City, if they are dropping to a 4-3-3, and it certainly looks that way, how do you think Brentford are going to handle that?
Well, I think just the loss of Rodri midfield could be pretty key, because Brentford, if you think about what's the strength of the team, it's that those big defenders and the midfield, with Henderson in there, with Damsgaard and Yarmolenko. And I think Manchester City, they just need to control the ball, get the ball into those forward areas and not allow Brentford to come at them.
Nico goes down under the challenge of Damsgaard, and the free kick has been awarded to Manchester City inside the centre circle. Brentford 0, Manchester City 1. You are joining us for the second of our double header. The Brace is our new show on Sundays. Basically, an explanation of the name is means it's a double. 2 games brought to you from the Commenttary Hub, and we're hoping to bring that to you every week. And here's Tiani Reiners as he holds the ball up and drops it to Nico O'Reilly. Back to Gonzalez, under pressure from Thiago there, but that's good work as well by Manchester City to win that ball back. And here is Reiners again. Good ball out to Mateus Nunes. Overlapping is Bob. Bob picks up the ball now. The second of 2 Norwegians at Manchester City. And here's Ruben Diaz. Back to Nunes again, and Diaz now under pressure by 2 Brentford players. He manages to find Nunes with a ball there, who in turn finds Oscar Bob. He picks out Phil Foden. Space opening up for Manchester City. Foden tries a shot. It takes a deflection that really took the power out of it. But once again, Oscar Bob here reading the game so well, and Phil Foden creating space for himself to get the shot on goal, and the deflection by Sap Vandenberg took the power out of it, Bruno.
Yeah, just nothing in it in the end, really, for Manchester City. But another good move. You just feel like they might rue one of these chances at some point.
Well, here's Kevin Schade now, hoping to do some ruining himself. Down that left-hand side, he drops the ball back, and picked up here by Henderson. Henderson being involved early on in this game quite a bit, trying to be the creator. That's a good ball by Michael Coyote. He tries to play the ball into the box, but it's won back by Oscar Bob. And now here's Nico Gonzalez. Always under pressure by Damsgaard. Good play though by Nico. He just drops the ball back there to Ruben Diaz. And very good play by the Spanish international there. Almost Damsgaard nipping in and winning that ball back. And here's O'Reilly. Foden drops the ball back. And it's Diaz again, as this is the play from the back Manchester City way of things. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Good ball to Savinho. He's got Coyote in front of him. Takes a step back, Savinho, and drops it back into the centre circle to Ruben Diaz. Diaz plays the ball forward to Tiani Reiners. That's a good ball to the right-hand side to Oscar Bob. Getting to the corner of the penalty area, Bob steps inside. Great play by Oscar Bob. Pulls the ball back there to Foden. But once again, Brentford defending that quite well. But the build-up play again by Manchester City has really been impressive. Brentford struggling with that and are scrambling to defend inside their own penalty area.
Yeah, really good twinkle toes there by Oscar Bob on the right-hand side. And his pullback finds a Manchester City player. But Brentford just have too many bodies in the box there and get a block in. Dangerous stuff, though, from City.
I mean, it's just superb played by Oscar Bob. Skips inside Hickey and Collins and able to play the ball across to a sliding Phil Foden. This was fantastic. And then he just pulls the ball back here. And nice pass, reads Foden. And, well, didn't quite get the finish that Foden was looking for, but he'll be delighted so far with his own start to this game, Oscar Bob. It's a throw-in for Brentford. Hickey takes it. Picked up by the number 9 there, Thiago. And it's dropped back into the City half of the field. The City once again win the ball back. But there's a free kick here, I think, now for Brentford. Which you can already see the complaints despite him winning there. Pep Guardiola, never happy, is he?
No manager ever is.
Well, it's done such a fantastic job wherever he's gone. And the free kick is going to be taken here by Queven Kelleher as Brentford getting men forward, hoping to create something. It's a long ball, high line by Manchester City, but long ball by Kelleher. Launched into the penalty area. Donnarumma comes up for it, just drops it for a moment, but collects it. Donnarumma going up there for the challenge with Collins. Collins is a big guy, but Donnarumma always so calm in those positions. Here is Nunes now for Manchester City over the halfway line. Drops the ball back into his own half of the field and picked up by Ruben Diaz. Diaz plays it over the halfway line. We've played almost 31 minutes here. It's Brentford 0, Manchester City 1. And want to thank you very much for joining us for this game, for spending your Sunday afternoon with us here. Here's Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob pulled it back to Foden. Oh, that's criminal, that miss. Oh, what an opportunity for Phil Foden. That really should have been 2-0 as Brentford caught sleeping at the back. The ball forward to Oscar Bob. He pulls it back. Nobody within 5 yards of him, Bruno. He's got to hit the target from there, surely.
Yeah, Manchester City, they're really finding a lot of success down that right-hand side. Oscar Bob's been really impressive this game. And the pullback, you just want it on your left foot if you're Phil Foden. Took it with his right and sliced it wide of the post. Good chance.
Ball is cleared downfield. Indeed, it was a good chance. I have to say, an opportunity like that, I do wonder whether City's missing those type of chances, whether it's going to come back to haunt them, as you mentioned earlier. The throw into Brentford is on the right-hand side, and it's level with the Manchester City penalty area. And Michael Coyote is going to take it. He's going for the long throw. He can get some distance on these throw-ins. He's going to go for the long one here into the City penalty area. Thiago in there. Darren England trying to keep some sort of order. Easier said than done. Who'd be a referee these days? The throw-in is going to be long here now. We're just waiting for the referee to allow the game to resume. And all the way into the penalty area. That's a super long throw. But there is a foul by Sepp Vandenberg. A muscular injury for Rodri. So I'm no physiotherapist, Bruno, but usually those type of injuries take time to heal.
Yeah, and it didn't look good. Just pulled up, a no contact injury there. And, you know, real big blow for Manchester City. They really need their star midfielder in there if they're going to compete on all fronts like they want to do this season.
Well, Vandenberg plays the ball forward to Henderson, who is giving the ball away to Manchester City. Oscar Bob winning the ball back this time. And here's Matheus Nunes. And I feel the problem for Brentford, Bruno, is that once they get the ball, they give it away far too cheaply. And it's just it's playing into Manchester City's hands, I would say, in this first half.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Manchester City, they do that to you, don't you? They just force you to whenever you have the ball, they press you so brilliantly and they get it back. But Brentford, you know, you just feel it's just going to be one set piece, one long ball that they're going to have to take advantage of. And while it's still 1-0, they still have hope.
Well, that's true. With 11 minutes to go until half-time in this game, Manchester City are leading by a 0-0. And the goal scored by Erling Haaland after 9 minutes. A very early goal for Manchester City. So far they've not been able to, despite the chances, they've not been able to build on that. And it's back now with Nathan Collins for Brentford. And he goes back to Caoimhin Kelleher in goal. Cross to Vandenberg. Good ball forward there to Thiago. Thiago just lays the ball off there to Christopher Ayer. Oh, and it's given away by Coyote. And now Manchester City can come forward again. Here's Haaland across to Bob. Bob just lays it off here to Phil Foden. He gets the cross in. It's headed away. And that's won back again, this time by Nico Gonzalez. But once again, Brentford giving the ball away there. And Manchester City looking to take advantage of it. And it's now with Matheus Nunes. Picked up by Tiani Reines. Reines gives it back to Nunes. Nunes checks back and goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And Manchester City have no problem really from going from advanced positions all the way back to the goalkeeper to start again building up from the back. And here's Manchester City again, and it's Matheus Nunes who gives the ball away. And here's Thiago Silva now for Brentford. Let's see what he can do. Tries to get the shot away. It's blocked and attempted to be cleared away by Reines. It goes out of play for a throw into Brentford. But that was most unlike Matheus Nunes, Bruno, just giving the ball away that time.
Yeah, sloppy from Manchester City, sloppy from Brentford earlier. But this is what Brentford want. They want it to be scrappy. They want those balls in the forward areas. And, you know, they just need one chance to take advantage of. They haven't had a shot yet in this game.
Well, it's been very difficult for them. They've given the ball away and they've done it again there. This time Thiago Silva giving the ball to O'Reilly. O'Reilly sends it back to Gianluigi Donnarumma. And here is Matheus Nunes. Diaz. Gvardiol. Gvardiol holds the ball up and he plays it over the halfway line. And here's O'Reilly skipping forward. Sends the ball to Savinho over on the left-hand side. Savinho tries to get to the byline, tries to get the cross in. Coyote gets the block and it goes behind for a Manchester City corner. And, well, Manchester City pretty dangerous from these set pieces themselves. And it's going to be Phil Foden who's going to go out to take it. I think you'll be looking at an outswinger from the England international. And he's just going to get another ball there. The other one seems to have been lost. And Erling Haaland inside the penalty area. Ryan is there as well. Also Gvardiol, all looking to take advantage of this corner from Phil Foden. And Smiles there in the Brentford defence. Not much to smile about at the moment. It's a corner coming in now by Phil Foden. He's going to outswing this one. Let's wait for the referee to make sure he's happy with everything. And here's Foden now. And the heads go up and it's headed away there by Collins. That's good play there by the Irish international. And it's picked up there by Gonzalez. He gives the ball to Reines. Reines swings the ball in and it's cleared away there. Only as far as the number 24 Gvardiol. As once again Brentford submitting possession there. Here is Nico O'Reilly, who's really made that left back position his own in recent weeks. I think England really have a bright star there on that left side. Here's Reines. Back into the centre circle to Diaz. As Gvardiol now, Manchester City, just building up patiently, passing the ball around, and it's crossed in by Nico O'Reilly. Here's a chance for Reines! Oh, super save by Kelleher! Absolutely superb save as Reines struck that on the volley, and Bruno, it really should be 2-0, but Caoimhin Kelleher, what a super save.
I don't know how it's not gone in. I mean, brilliant from Manchester City. Reines coming into the back post on the volley, and a brilliant fingertip save by Kelleher just to keep it at bay at 1-0.
Well, a save like that could change the momentum of the game. It really did defy physics, really. And here's O'Reilly again now for Manchester City as they'll continue to put the pressure on the Brentford defence, which has very much been the theme of this first half. And here's Bob. And Mateus Nunes plays it back into the centre of the park. Centre circle. And it's Nunes again. And here's Foden. Foden back to Nunes. Good ball by Nunes to Oscar Bob. Oscar Bob sets Nunes off on the right-hand side. Bit of space for Mateus Nunes. Gets the cross in. It's headed out by Coyote. Only as far as O'Reilly. O'Reilly out onto the left-hand side. Picked up by Savinio there. He just brings the ball under control. Plays it short that time to Reiners. Back to Savinio. Good one-touch football by City again. So really been good value for this lead going into half-time. And we've got 5 minutes to go until the break here. And it's still 1-0 to Manchester City. Goodness knows how it isn't more than that, really. As here's Reiners. Plays it off Sharda. Keeps possession as Manchester City. Very well, that's a foul, surely. And a free kick to Manchester City for the foul by Thiago. We take a look again at this save. The cross in by O'Reilly was sensational, by the way. And that just picked up to Tiana Reiners. We'll get a good view of it behind the goal. What a reaction save, Bruno. That was sensational.
Oh, it's just brilliant. Every time you look at it, it gets even better. I mean, just the play from Manchester City is perfect, but what a splendid save by Kelleher to keep Brentford in it.
It's Foden to Nunes. Nunes holds the ball up and drops it back. And it's Gvardiol. Really patient build-up by Manchester City. It's Nico O'Reilly again. And it's Ruben Diaz now for Manchester City as they're using almost a full width of the pitch as well, which is causing the Brentford defence to be stretched. Excuse me. Here's Oscar Bob to Reiners. Picked up by Gonzalez. And it's Nico O'Reilly again to Savinio. Savinio to O'Reilly again. He gets the cross in. Oh, it goes across the line of the 6-yard box, but only as far as Mateus Nunes. He swings it in again. It's headed out by Vandenberg. And Kevin Sharda tries to bring the ball under control. And that is really, really good play there by Reiners, keeping possession despite the pressure by Kevin Sharda. But you can see what City are doing here, Bruno. Using the full width of the pitch, they are stretching this Brentford defence here.
Yeah, I mean, Man City in the wide areas, they've been fabulous, especially Oscar Bob. I think he's had a real impact in this game. And you just feel like it's a matter of time before they get that second goal.
Well, here's Phil Foden. He's had an opportunity himself as Foden. Reiners also forcing a fantastic save from Kelleher. But City have had half chances too. But so far just the one goal with Erling Haaland. And here is Gvardiol. It's back with the number 33 Nico O'Reilly. And it's Diaz. A little bit of compact short passing here by Manchester City. Mateus Nunes. Drop back. And it's now Nunes again. Forward there to Oscar Bob. Bob, despite being under pressure, gets the ball back to Nunes. And they're quite happy, Manchester City, to go all the way back to the goalkeeper, Donnarumma. And this is the thing, they have teams chasing them all over the place once they've got possession. And once they've got possession, they just don't give it up. And here is Mateus Nunes now, plays the ball forward. This time, though, they did give it up, commentators curse. And Brentford have given the ball away as well from the number 22, Nathan Collins. But you can see, basically, even as this game goes on and the way that City are playing, I don't think Brentford have an answer to this, Bruno.
No, but You know, we say it all the time in football, if you don't take your chances, they can come back to haunt you. It is only still 1-0. And all you need is a set piece, a long ball. I've said it all game. And that's what Brentford thrive on. They're not a big possession team. They don't usually have these intricate players with lots of passes, but they take advantage of their opportunities. In Manchester City, they need to put the game away.
Well, there's a minute left in the first half. It's still 1-0 to City. And the ball's played forward to Oscar Bob. Despite the pressure there, he manages to get the ball back to Ruben Diaz. That's a good challenge that time by Damsgaard. And the ball is out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. As we take a look again, that's where there may have been a penalty appeal there for Collins, but I don't really think that you can give that. He's got his hand by his side. I don't know what else he's supposed to do there, Bruno.
No, definitely not a penalty. And if anything, it just skims off his arm. Nothing in there. No real complaints from the Man City players, and rightly so, waved away.
Well, here come Manchester City now over the halfway line with Mateus Nunes. He's got Oscar Bob down the right, and he manages to find Oscar Bob, who's been so impressive. Gets into the penalty area now. Oscar Bob gets to the byline. The cross in is just too close to Caoimhin Kelleher, and he just plucks that out of the air as we head into stoppage time at the end of this first half. And there's going to be 2 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this first half. That will be for the injury to Rodri. And at half time, I've Russ Vernon there giving you the scores from earlier. A couple of interesting results from earlier. We'll let Russ give those to you at half time. Kevin Schade is fouled by Ruben Diaz, and a yellow card has been waved. I'm not quite sure who he waved it in the face of. It looked like it was Erling Haaland, but I'll just get confirmation of that. It might be for the challenge on Schade, or it might be at Schade himself for waving his hand in the face of the referee, and I would do that too. And yes, there's confirmation. The yellow card has gone to Kevin Schade for waving his hand in the referee's face. I would have no problem booking somebody for that, Bruno, to be honest.
No, it's just a silly yellow card to get, isn't it? It's just the new rules that came in the last couple of seasons. If you ask for the yellow card and make the signal, you're going to get one yourself, and that's exactly what Schade did. And he got the yellow card himself.
Free kick to Brentford, though, and it's taken short there by Hickey. Sepp Vandenberg launches the ball into the penalty area, but there the ever calm and secure Donnarumma in the Manchester City goal, as we've got about 20 seconds left of stoppage time at the end of this first half. I just wonder what Keith Andrews is going to say to his squad. Only one goal in it, but so far they've not been able to create much. One shot really that was blocked. Aside from that, that's been it really for Brentford. The ball has largely been played in the City half of the field. And here is Reiners, just drops the ball back to Nico O'Reilly. The ball has been given up, but it is in fact half time. Brentford are behind at half time by a goal on 9 minutes by Erling Haaland, beating the two defenders, staying on his feet and putting the ball in the net. Chances have also fallen for Phil Foden. Tiani Reiners has had a couple of opportunities. A good save from Caoimhin Kelleher has kept the score at 1-0. Bruno, why don't you give me your first half assessment?
Yeah, I think no one could deny Manchester City a really good value for this 1-0 lead. They probably should be a lot more ahead, really. Brentford haven't really shown us anything in this first half. They really need to get their game on for the second if they want to get something out of this. But Manchester City, you just feel like the second goal will come at any point, really. Just brilliant, intricate movement around the box. Oscar Bob has been brilliant, as has Phil Foden. And I think Manchester City, you'd expect them to go on and score a couple more in the second half.
All right, thank you very much, Bruno, for your first half assessment there. And we're going to go back to Russ Vernon now in the studio in Rotherham.
Thank you very much there, Paul James. Very good to have you doing the excellent commentary there, as always, and same along with Bruno alongside you today. Good to have Bruno back on the channel for the first time in quite a while, which was good to have him back there. We'll get into half-time scores right now, then just across up and down the country, including the games from earlier on today. So let's take a look then at the scores on the doors in the Premier League. So these are the scores in the Premier League. On Friday night, he finished Bournemouth 3, Fulham 1, Leeds United 1, Tottenham 2 was the first one of yesterday's action. Arsenal 2, West Ham United 0, Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. On Sunday afternoon, so this afternoon, our featured game earlier on the brace on Sunday, the first part of the brace on Sunday was Aston Villa 2, Burnley 1. You heard that on the commentary of Storm FM and JB Sports. So our viewers will now listen to this game on my Twitch channel. Sorry for we decided to bring it elsewhere. The earlier game is here on Twitch. Continuing the scores: Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0. First 7 games in charge of Nottingham Forest 4, and Postecoglou all ends without a victory for Nottingham Forest. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Brighton 1. And in the Premier League today, in our match right now, it is Brentford 0, Man City 1, as you've heard from Bruno and from Paul. Let's take a look then into the Championship. And there's some games took place yesterday and some took place on Friday, and one even took place earlier today. In the Championship on Friday evening was Wrexham 1, Birmingham City 1, Blackburn Rovers 1, Stoke City 1 from yesterday, Hull 1, Sheffield United 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Coventry City 5, Bristol City 1, QPR 2, Derby County 1, Southampton 1. Going into the second part of the Championship scores: Millwall 3, West Bromwich Albion 0, Portsmouth 1, Middlesbrough 0, Preston North End 2, Charlton Athletic 0, Swansea City 1, Leicester City 3, Watford 2, Oxford United 1, Ipswich Town 3, Norwich City 1 in the East Anglian derby earlier on this afternoon. That kicked off at midday today in the Championship in East Anglia in the EFL Championship. Let's go and take a look at then in the League One action. And in League One, starting that week, those matches starting on Thursday evening: Fulham United 2, Bradford City 2. Then on Saturday was Doncaster Rovers 1, Burton Albion 1, Wycombe Wanderers 2, Barnsley 2, Blackpool 0, AFC Wimbledon 2. So the end of Steve Bruce as Blackpool manager with that defeat yesterday to AFC Wimbledon. Bolton 2, Peterborough United 1, Cardiff City 4, Leyton Orient 3 in League One. Continuing the League One results, it was Huddersfield Town 1, Stockport County 2, Lincoln City 0, Exeter City 1, Plymouth Argyle 1, Wigan Athletic 1, Port Vale 0, Northampton Town 0, Reading 1, Mansfield 1, Stevenage 2, Luton Town 0. Into League 2 we go then, and it was MK Dons 3, Gillingham 2, Newport County 0, Swindon Town 1, Barnet 2, Accrington Stanley 0, Barrow 0, Shrewsbury Town 0, Bromley 3, Tranmere Rovers 3, Cambridge 1, Crawley Town 1, should I say there. Continuing these scores, it was Cheltenham Town 2, Fleetwood Town 0, Colchester 6, Chesterfield 2, Notts County 3, Oldham Athletic 1, Salford City 0, Grimsby Town 2, Walsall 2, Bristol Rovers 1, Harrogate Town versus Alexandria is the Monday Night Football in League 2 there. So half time in our game here at the G-Tech Community Stadium, the home of the Bees, which is Brentford. It is Brentford 0, Manchester City 1, thanks to Erling Haaland with the goal on 9 minutes. Stephen Keller has kept the scores down with some fantastic saves in that first half as well. We'll get the thoughts in a moment of Bruno Winter, who is on commentary today alongside Paul James. And Bruno, if you are with us at the moment, I just want to get your thoughts on, give you the thoughts there, but just talk to us again about the goal from Erling Haaland. Fantastic strike, fantastic work, and Man City, you would have to say, deserve their lead, even though Brentford, Keller has kept the scoreline down from a Brentford point of view.
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant from Man City. Pretty direct, as we've seen to Erling Haaland so much. He's such a complete striker, such a complete number 9. Just muscles his way past the defenders and finishes really nicely. It's just classic Manchester City, classic Erling Haaland. But you just need that second goal just to be a little bit more comfortable. Brentford haven't shown anything attacking. They've had one shot, 25% possession, really nothing to go off. Donnaruma's had a quiet Sunday so far. But if you're Manchester City, you just want that cushion. And if you're Brentford, you just want to stay in it. Keller has had a great game. The defence has been all right. You need to just stay in the game.
Yes, absolutely, Bruno, absolutely. And Brentford they're staying in the game at the moment. They have had chances in the game as well, but they've not really tested Donnarumma. They've had one shot in the entire game, not on target yet. Then one corner as well, Brentford, in that first half. They expected the shots, the total shot, which was a block shot, registered an XG of 0.06. Manchester City expected goals 0.80, with expected goals on target 0.65 for Manchester City. So you've really got to say that City have been what you would say and what you would call dominant in terms of possession, in terms of chances, and in terms of making things happen in this game. And as you mentioned, losing Rodri could be a big boost for Brentford in the second half. You know what City's records are without him. But when he started in games, and even if he had to come off, City have normally done well. So do you think with that replacement of Rodri and Goff, do you think that could be a big boost for Brentford going into the second half with that midfield battle where you've the likes of Henderson, Yarmouk, Damsgaard coming up against now in terms of Man City, Nico Gonzalez in there, with maybe Reinders and Fulham to drop back from the central midfield areas into playing into that sort of position, Bruno, to help out Nico Gonzalez.
Yeah, I mean, Rodri's obviously a big miss, he would be to anyone, but let's not forget Nico Gonzalez. He is a 50, 60 million pound player as well. He's looked comfortable coming into this game. He slotted in well. Brentford, they've had 20, 25 minutes without Rodri, and it's still been one-way traffic. Brentford, they just need, one long ball to go for them, a set piece. As we've seen, throughout the season, they've had the lowest shots of any team in the league so far, and that's pretty telling and showing for this game. And they don't have much possession, they don't make many passes, but they sometimes capitalise on the opportunities. It's what they did against Manchester United last time out, and I hope that they can do that in the second half this time.
Yes, and you look at some of the players on the bench in terms for Brentford, in terms of who could come on and who can play and who could try and create those sort of chances. You've got the likes of Atara on the bench, you've got Onyeka, you've got Lewis Potter who likes to get forward, even though he's been playing mainly as a left back. So I've just named 3 of them there. Jensen can get forward from midfield as well, Janelt as well, Carvalho as well. So there's only really from there whereas Emery and Pinnacle who are defensively minded in terms of position-based players, but the others, even some are midfielders, some are wing-backs, some are wingers, forwards, options there, Bruno. Brentford have got options in there, Bruno, to fetch off of the bench if needed, say in the next 5 minutes, if it's not 5-10 minutes, if it's not starting to work.
Yeah, and I think the main sort of character in there is Dango Ouattara. They signed him to replace Johan Wissa and Brian Mbeumo, who departed in the summer, and he's sort of the X factor for them on that bench. He's a pretty tricky winger who can cause City some problems, but they need the ball first. They need to keep hold of the ball, get it into these attacking areas, and that's how you cause problems. They haven't had the ball at all really. They've been starved of possession, and that's going to be problematic if they want to try and get back in the game.
Yeah, yes, absolutely there, Bruno. Absolutely. I'm just going to fit in the man who's alongside you there, and Paul James. And Paul just been touching upon there some of the Brentford options that have gone on the bench in case you want to turn it around in terms of attacking options in the likes of Atara, Lewis Potter, Onyeka, and out Carvalho. Do you feel like they could make a difference if they come on and Brentford manage to keep hold of possession?
I think Dango Otaro is probably going to be the most likely option. We know he can score goals. He's scored a few this season already. I think, to be honest with you, I think it can't wait too long to bring Otaro on. I can't see it going past the 60th minute if the score is still 1-0. It would be, I think it needs to bring on some sort of attacking option, maybe additional creativity, Lewis Potter maybe, but there needs to be some change within the Brentford side because, yes, it only takes one chance to score. That's all it takes, but they're not creating anything or even looking like they're going to create anything at the moment. They're giving the ball away a lot in the midfield and the final third of the field. And I feel that is going to be a problem for them going forward. So I think they need some creativity on, some stability, and real striking options. And I think Otaro can certainly bring the striking options.
Yes, absolutely, Paul, absolutely. When you look at Man City as well, and this is to both of you, so one of you can take it first and the other one can answer it afterwards. When you look at Man City, well, I'm just going to ask you this question, Paul. Obviously, I've touched on with Bruno first earlier on. Rodri going off injured, and we know what City's record is like with when players go off injured, when Rodri's not playing, and normally if he starts and goes off injured, normally seem to do well, but when they go off and not playing very, very well at the start of in the games and don't play, City's records. Or do you think the substitution of Rodri and his injury could have an impact on how Brentford get back into this game, especially with that midfield battle?
I mean, it certainly could. We all know the record when Rodri's in the lineup and when he's not. It'll be their best hope of getting back into it, knowing that Rodri is now no longer holding that area of the midfield. But they've got to do their part as well, and at the moment it's not looking like they are.
Yes, absolutely. Teams are getting ready to come back out very, very shortly out of kick-off in this second half as we get ready for the second half. Bruno, you mentioned City were going to be comfortable winners at the beginning. From what you've seen so far, do you still stand by that case?
Yeah, definitely. But they've been by far the most dominant of the two sides. And, they haven't really been troubled at all by Brentford, who have really struggled to get any possession, especially in the Manchester City half. They need the second goal because we've seen it so many times in football that teams just need one chance. But you'd expect Man City to, in the next 15, 20 minutes, to probably get that second goal with how they've been playing.
Yes, absolutely. The teams are getting ready to come back out any second now. So without further ado, ready for the second half. We'll kick off very much as much in the second half. It's time for me to hand back over to the match commentary team of Bruno Winter. But first, Paul James.
All right, thank you very much, Ross. Keith Andrews is out. Looking on at the start of the second half, Bruno, it doesn't look like there's been any substitutions at half time. Are you surprised at that?
A little bit. I think that Brentford, they just need a spark. They need anything to get them going, especially in those forward areas. They've been really poor. They haven't had any possession, really. They haven't made any chances, haven't troubled Donnarumma at all. And they need a little spark. You think, Dango Otaro, I don't expect it to be long before he's out on that pitch.
Yeah, I quite agree with you on that, actually. Here come Manchester City now. Erling Haaland, the last one out. For the start of this second half at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Brentford, well, whatever anyone else might think, I know when excuse me, I know, Bruno, when I was growing up, Brentford were a third division team, so they've come a long way in a very short period of time, and have shown themselves to be very effective at this level.
Yeah, no, they've the rise of Brentford is one of the all-time underdog stories in English football, and they've really been a solid Premier League side. They haven't really been troubled by relegation scrap in a while. You feel like this might be the season in which they are, and they're proving it today. They just have nothing against this, albeit brilliant Manchester City team.
Well, the game is back underway now, and it's back to Donnarumma in the Manchester City goal. He clears the ball downfield. City attacking the goal to our left in this second half. And coming forward now is Michael Coyote over the halfway line. Well, he's making a lot of ground here as Coyote. He checks inside, away there from Gavardiol, and the ball is played into the Manchester City penalty area. They're appealing for a corner. Donnarumma did get the last touch, but I think the ball was already out of play, and it's going to be a goal kick. But just for a moment there, Brentford looked a bit more direct in that start to the second half, Bruno.
Yeah, and it's already a bit of positive play for Brentford, which we hadn't seen in the game so far. And it's good to see, that's their game. They're good at being direct. They're good at the long balls into the forward, and that's how you can trouble Man City. We've seen it before in the direct game.
That goes back to the goalkeeper now, Queven Kelleher. Here's Christopher Ayer. Just drops it again back to the goalkeeper. He cleared downfield by Kelleher. Doesn't quite meet the halfway line. It's flicked on there by Gonzalez. Sharda attempts to win the ball back, and Brentford do have it. And that is played by Hickey. Now across to Christopher Ayer now for Brentford, down this right-hand side to right-hand side, to Coyote. And back there to Vandenberg. Vandenberg across to Collins. Collins to Hickey. Hickey trying to break the ball away, but that's a really good challenge by Nunes. Now here is Oscar Bob. Gets inside the penalty area. Oscar Bob, he goes down. The referee says no. And it's won back by Brentford. And, he went down under the challenge. I don't think there's anything on it. But that's a giveaway. And a real chance now for Thiago. He's in 1-on-1. Oh, a super save by Donnarumma. Oh, and that was a chance you were talking about, Bruno. A real slip up in the Manchester City defence, and Thiago there, what a chance, and a good save by Donnarumma.
Oh, you won't get a better chance if you're Brentford. You just got to hope that they might get one more, because that was a golden opportunity, 1-on-1. He had so much time, Igor Thiago, but he just couldn't make his mind up. He took it too close to Donnarumma, who, to his credit, stayed strong, stayed upright, and makes the save. I mean, end-to-end stuff at the start of the second half. It's already probably been more exciting than the entirety of the first.
Indeed, and the miscontrolled header there by Gavardiol is what led up to that. But that's an opportunity, and Thiago knows it. The cameras just zoned in on him there after that chance, and he knows that was an opportunity. Only one touch for Brentford in the Manchester City penalty area in the entire game. That tells a story in and of itself so far. Here's Gavardiol. Plays the ball short to Foden. Foden drops it back there to Gonzalez. And that's good play there by Ruben Diaz. To Nunes, back to Diaz again. Here's Gavardiol again. He's got Nico O'Reilly up there with him. Instead, he tries to go for Savinho, and Michael Coyote is winning that ball back. He drops it back to Vandenberg. Gives it to Henderson. Henderson goes all the way back to Kelleher. Set Vandenberg to Henderson again. Henderson now gives the ball to Christopher Ayer, as Brentford looking a bit more secure at the start of this second half. And that ball is backed by Yarmouk. Gives it to Henderson again. This is a lot better from Brentford at the start of this second half.
Now with the confidence that we hadn't seen at all in the first half. I mean, just a lot braver there. They're not afraid to get on the ball and pump it long, and that's what they're good at.
Well, City perhaps not expecting this kind of start to the second half from Brentford. Let's see the challenge there, late really by Nico Gonzalez, stamping on the foot there of Jordan Henderson. He looks in some discomfort, the wily old veteran. But it's a high line. It's a free kick for Brentford as a result of that. And this is a really high line by Manchester City. And I just wonder whether Brentford are going to try for the ball over the top here, try and take advantage of this. A free kick looks like it's going to be taken here by Damsgaard. It's launched towards the edge of the area. The header is won by O'Reilly, and it must have come off perhaps a Brentford player there. It's been given as a goal kick. It looked to me like it came off O'Reilly, but it must have come off a Brentford player. As Manchester City look like they themselves have been taken aback a little bit by the start of the second half, Bruno. We just seem to have lost Bruno for a moment, but here is Savinho, just drops the ball back to Gvardiol. Over the halfway line now it comes Manchester City, and that's a good ball out wide there by Tierney Reiners to Oscar Bob. City now coming forward, looking for that all-important second goal. Picked up here by Ruben Diaz. Here's Tierney Reiners, back to Diaz. Oscar Bob there, good challenge that time by Hickey. And we seem to have Bruno back now. Just stating there, Bruno, perhaps Manchester City a little surprised by the start by Brentford in this second half.
Yeah, and it's been really positive for the Bees. 5 minutes in, they've certainly showed a lot more than they did in any of that first half. And City just need to get on that ball. We know how good they are. We know how good they were in that first half, and just keep the ball moving in the Brentford area.
Ball is forward now for Phil Foden. Back with Nico O'Reilly. Good ball across by Josko Gvardiol to Nunes. Picked up by Tierney Reiners. Been very dangerous. There's a quick 1-2 with Phil Foden, and the ball goes across here to Nico O'Reilly. And O'Reilly drops the ball back there to Gvardiol. And across there to Matheus Nunes, operating in that right back role today. Across now to Nico O'Reilly. This is good swift build up by Manchester City. Here's Reiners, across to Phil Foden. Foden's plays the ball to Oscar Bob. Chance now for Oscar Bob if he can skip inside. He tries to get a shot away, but that's a really good block that time by Nathan Collins. And Manchester City are pressing forward again, looking for a way to break down and stretch this Brentford defence again. Here's Savinho. Gonzalez. Diaz gives the ball across there to Matheus Nunes, looking for Oscar Bob. The ball goes out of play for a throw-in to Manchester City. As City just trying to keep control of this game, and Brentford clear the ball here away by Sepp Vandenberg, and it's picked up midway inside the Brentford half of the field, and it's Phil Foden. He gives the ball to Matheus Nunes, out to Bob on the right hand side. Bob will come up against Hickey again. Hickey's had a really rough afternoon in front of Oscar Bob at the moment. Oscar Bob drops the ball back, and picked up here by the number 24, Josko Gvardiol. Gvardiol, he tries to play the ball out wide, but that's well intercepted now. And Kevin Schade now for Brentford coming forward. Is he fouled there? The referee says no. It's free. It's the play goes on for Manchester City. Kevin Schade believes he was fouled there. I'm not so sure on that one, Bruno.
No, I think it was just sandwiched between two defenders. There was no challenge in there, and it was just good, strong defending by City.
Well, here is O'Reilly, long ball, looking for Oscar Bob. Hickey deals with that well. Chasing that ball down as well over on the far side is Mikael Damsgaard. Goes out of play for a throw into Manchester City. We've had almost 10 minutes gone at the start of the second half. Brentford just looking a little bit more solid at the start of the second half, and have had their really one and only chance of the whole game that they have not been able to take advantage of. Here is Savinho. Drops the ball back to Gvardiol. O'Reilly. Gvardiol again. Just inside his own half of the field. O'Reilly forward to Savinho. Savinho goes down under the challenge there of Coyote. And helping him along there is Yarmouk. And he is eventually dispossessed. Oh, lovely turn by Nico O'Reilly on Coyote. And that was a veteran move by a very young man.
Lovely piece of skill, wasn't it? By O'Reilly on the left-hand touchline.
I'd like your assessment actually on Nico O'Reilly. England have often struggled on the left side with left-sided players in the past, but they've really got a potential starlet here, haven't they?
Yeah, and look, if you're good enough to play as many times as he has for Manchester City, you're probably good enough to get into this England squad, certainly at a position of need, which left-back is for England. And, yeah, I mean, O'Reilly, they just never look out of place, really, do they, these City Academy players? We often see young players come in and be a little bit tentative and not try and make their impact. But, you know, at Manchester City, that's not the case. They have a brilliant academy.
Yes, and bringing in Nico O'Reilly as well, coming through. He's been, from the time I've seen him play, each and every time he looks very solid. He looks very composed for such a young man playing at such a high level. I think I've often wondered why he hasn't already broken into the England squad. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel not ready to bring him in yet. The forthcoming World Cup qualifiers could see England qualify for the World Cup if the results go their way and they win both games. And Savinho goes down, referee not buying that, and Coyote a back heel, but he only manages to give the ball straight to Savinho, and it's cleared downfield, won by Damsgaard, played forward looking for Thiago not able to bring the ball under control, but Hickey trying to win that ball back. Good play by Aaron Hickey. Can he get the cross in? Is he fouled there? The referee says no. And City just struggling defensively at the moment when Brentford press, and all of a sudden Manchester City looking a little shaky in defence, Bruno.
Yeah, good spell for Brentford this. Hickey, you know, when they play it wide, Brentford, you know, they have some decent width. They have some nice players out there, and they can cause City problems. And I think we're seeing now Brentford, this last few 30 seconds is the longest spell they've had on the ball during the whole match.
Here's Kevin Schade now down the left-hand side. Gets the cross in, and the header is on target, though, just over the crossbar from Coyote. And that was a really good move. Once again, Kevin Schade picking the ball up down the left-hand side. He has space in front of him. And the German just gets the cross in with the outside of the boot. The header towards goal by Coyote. It would have needed to have been something special to beat Donnarumma from there. But once again, we're seeing better football from Brentford in this second half.
Yeah, half a chance there for Brentford. Just couldn't quite get the header anywhere on target, but it's a good spell for Brentford, and they press and win it back again.
Henderson this time gives the ball to Schade. The two defenders squeeze that gap closed, and now City have the ball back. The ball is played forward by Ruben Diaz to Oscar Bob. He's waiting for supporters. Oscar Bob tries to play the ball through to Erling Haaland, but that would be comfortably dealt with. And what's Caoimhin Kelleher doing there? Oh, and that might go back towards the goal. I think the referee has stopped play, but Caoimhin Kelleher there, that took some nerve to try to skip past Erling Haaland in that way. Bruno.
Yeah, heart-in-mouth moment there for Brentford. But they've kept the ball nicely, and they've had a really good opening 15 minutes this second half.
Well, they certainly have, and the ball there, the long ball this time looking for Thiago, and we're going to see if they are going to reach out for Dango Taro. I think that now would be a good time, but so far Keith Andrews has opted not to make that change yet. Of course, it's easy to say from here what players and managers should do, but they have the bigger picture, of course. And it's a goal kick to Manchester City. It's going to be taken by Donnarumma, right-footed, downfield. It's almost over the head of Nico O'Reilly. He only manages to head it back to Thiago, and now chasing away here is Yarmouk, and a really good challenge by Josko Gvardiol to ensure that ball goes out of play so Yarmouk doesn't get away. But really, Brentford now starting, the crowd can feel it as they raise their voices here at the G-Tech Community Stadium. Is there a way back for the Bees? It's a throw-in for Brentford, level with the Manchester City penalty area, and it's to be taken by Michael Coyote, who's probably going to go for the long one again. It's a long run up there. Brentford surrounding the goalkeeper, Donnarumma. That won't trouble him. But the long throw in is going to be taken now. Darren England just making sure everything's in order before he allows his throw in to be taken by Coyote. And it's, if he wants to get this to the 6-yard box, he's going to have to throw this some distance. And well, he does get there, and it's headed out there by Mateus Nunes and cleared away, but only as far as Yarmulke. And now here's Coyote again. Can he get the cross in? Oh, that's a really good block that time by O'Reilly, and it goes behind for a corner. But Brentford knocking on the door.
Yeah, best spell of the match for Brentford so far. They've come out fighting the second half. Will they make the changes now during their best spell, or will they wait to see it out and find that spark a bit later?
Well, we'll wait and see for that, but it's 2 corners apiece now. And the corner is going to be taken by Damsgaard. Long over towards the corner of the penalty area. It just goes over Sharda's head and over Gavardio's head and out of play for a throw-in. As we take a look again at this chance for Thiago. Really out of control header by Gavardiol. He just, for me, Bruno, he just didn't seem to have control of the ball really at any time.
No, he just couldn't make his mind up what to do, and he's through on goal, takes a bit of a poor touch there, and Donnarumma, he does well in fairness, comes out, smothers the ball, makes the stop. But what a chance for Brentford. You feel like they're not going to get a better one.
Yes, and it's flicked on here, looking for Thiago again, but good defending that time by Ruben Diaz. And Manchester City, they just seem to be quality at all areas of the park, defensive, especially in the midfield, and of course we all know what they can do in front of goal. But Brentford really giving it a good go in this second half. Here is Gavardiol. Nico O'Reilly's got some space now. And he's just going to take his time, puts his foot on the ball, plays it there to Gonzalez. Gonzalez plays the ball looking for Savinho, but Coyote gets back and deals with that. Savinho closing in on Kelleher, but Kelleher just clears the ball downfield calmly. And the ball is played forward now, looking for Sharda, but that's going to be comfortably dealt with by Ruben Diaz. He gets caught by Sharda. The referee has given a free kick. And once again, City don't like being pressed, do they?
No, well, I don't think any team likes being pressed. City, you'd expect them to be good at getting out of it. In the first half, they weren't troubled at all. But second half, Brentford have really piled on the pressure. But
I've noticed this. I know no team likes being pressed, of course, but I've noticed that City do not react well to it. I think if there's one weakness in that City squad is that they don't like to be pressed, and not enough teams press them. But I find that when teams do, it becomes much more of a competition in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, there is a way to get at Manchester City. They're not perfect. Certainly over the last 2 years, they've shown that. They are only on 10 points after the first few games this season. You'd expect it to go up to 13 after today, but they're gettable. They're not quite the Manchester City of old, where it was you expect a win every single week. They're a side which is open to beating.
Well, they've got the ball here now with Mateus Nunes. He drops the ball back, and here's Ruben Diaz. City will once again just be comfortable, just knocking the ball around, and Brentford just standing off at the moment. Here's Savinho. Savinho drops the ball back into his own half to Diaz. Diaz to Mateus Nunes. Good ball out wide there to Oscar Bob. Phil Foden. City cycling the ball around really well as they do. Oscar Bob gives the ball to Foden. Foden, the ball forward to Erling Haaland. This is really good football from City. Haaland now gets into the penalty area, tries to play the ball through to Foden. Just a bit too much. The end result not quite there, but the build-up play was fantastic by City, Bruno.
Yeah, it was nice by City. I mean, if you're Brentford, it's too open. There's too many gaps in that defence and midfield there. And it's just so easy for City just to play simple passes into Haaland, into Foden. And, Brentford, they're going to have to open this game up if they're going to want to equalise. But we know what that does. It opens up the space for City to get that second.
Well, so far, both sides have resisted calling on their substitutions. Here's Tiani Reiners. Reiners just tries to play the ball across the Foden. It was way too long. It ran straight to Damsgaard. And now here's Sharda. Sharda just dispossessed though that time. And City win the ball back. Here's Haaland. Nunez. And just a quick 1-2 passing. And again, City slowed this game down to a walking pace. Brentford started the second half really, really well, strongly, moving the ball around quickly. City trying to just slow this game down again. Here is O'Reilly. O'Reilly drops it back to Diaz. And back to the goalkeeper from Nunez. And that's Donnarumma now, who may just plays it short, in fact, to Nico Gonzalez. Gonzalez surrounded by Yarmouk. It's played forward, but that's a good interception there that time by Aya. And the ball is played forward now to Yarmouk. And this is perhaps an opportunity for Brentford to do something. Here's Yarmouk, drops the ball back there to Jordan Henderson, swings across in. I don't think Sharda is going to get there, and it goes behind for a goal kick. But once again, Brentford winning the ball back there, trying to create something. It's like black and white from the first half to the second half, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they just look a lot braver on the ball. They look more excited, more intimidating, really, Brentford, when they go forward. And, you know, they're actually able to keep hold of the ball. And now we see Brentford 67 minutes into the game make the first changes.
Yes, and it looks like Dango Atara is one of them. So that means probably Thiago Silva will make way for Atara. And I'm just not quite sure who the other one is. Dango Atara is one of them. It looks like Damsgaard has gone off as well. So we'll just see. The other one is Matthias Jensen. He's wearing the number 8 shirt today. So let's just go through that substitutions for you. Mikel Damsgaard and Igor Thiago have gone off, and Matthias Jensen and Dango Atara have come on. And how do you think this sets up for Brentford now, Bruno?
Well, they're certainly attacking changes. You think Dango is, he's a much more forward-thinking player, more direct player than Thiago is more of a number 9. So you just expect him to be getting on the ball and be more direct, running at the City back line, and hopefully for Brentford, stretching them and leading to more chances.
Well, that might well be the case. The ball is played forward, and Atara picks up the ball immediately. And the ball is played long now to Kyoda. Kyoda's first touch, not the best, but it's given away by Manchester City. And here's Kyoda again. Goes down under the challenge. The referee says no, and Phil Foden wins the ball back. But he's given the ball back to Brentford as well. So what we're seeing right now is a lot better from Brentford now. We'll see whether Atara adds anything to this game and can one goal in it. This is far from done at this stage.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Brentford. They got a chance off a Guardiola mistake, and if they take it, which was a big possibility to take it, it'd be 1-1. And City really haven't created anything in the second half so far. It's been, you'd say, probably more Brentford than Manchester City.
Well, down. Just going to see one of the. There's a card coming out here. And I think it may be going to Jordan Henderson for the challenge. It doesn't look very good. There's a City player down there. It's Phil Foden. And Henderson is shown the yellow card for this challenge. It's late. It's from behind. Yellow card, I would say, Bruno.
Yeah, I think so. It's just a late challenge from Henderson. Doesn't get anywhere near the ball. Takes out the man, and a fair yellow card, definitely.
Free kick now to to Manchester City for that challenge by Brentford, for that challenge by Henderson. And it's going to be taken at the back here by Ruben Diaz. Goes short to Josko Gvardiol. Here's O'Reilly. into the midfield to Gonzalez. Across to Mateus Nunes. And he's perhaps looking to bring Oscar Bob into the game as well. With 20 minutes to go in this game, it's still City holding out with a 1-goal lead. And there certainly have been more holding out in the second half, really. And Bruno, you have about 15 to 18 minutes or so before you have to give your player of the match. It's incumbent upon you today. Here is O'Reilly, still struggling to get through there, but finally Coyote wins the ball. And the ball is played forward by Henderson. And here's Otara. Otara tries to play the ball in, but really good piece of defensive play by Ruben Diaz. But great transition play there by Brentford, Bruno.
Yeah, and it's Henderson with that long ball into the feet of the substitute, Ouattara. We've seen Henderson do that all season, really. He's already got a couple of assists and a couple of chances created from those sort of areas. And Ouattara there, that's what he's going to do. He's going to stretch the City back line. He's going to find the spaces on the wings. And we see a Brentford player go down injured now.
Well, you can see it's Yarmouk there who's gone down right now. And they have the physios on right now looking at Igor Yarmouk. And looks like more substitutions are being organised. That looks like the number 27 Janelt on the bench. The other German is readying himself perhaps to come on at the moment. Yarmouk is still down, so it doesn't look good for him, Bruno.
No, and I think Brentford are going to be forced into a change here. I think they need it, really. They just need a bit more fresh legs. They've sort of simmered down the last 5 minutes or so. And they hope that these fresh legs from the bench can prove a positive impact.
Well, Yarmouk still down. He's now being helped onto the field. Janel ready to come on. I suspect he will come on for Yarmouk. There is another Brentford player there readying himself to come on. I can't quite make out who that is. But I would say Yarmouk's afternoon is over, I'm afraid. And he limps to the bench. And we hope he recovers very, very soon. And Brentford also making another substitute. And it's Frank Onyeka who is the other substitute. And we'll just find out who the other player is that's replacing, that's coming off there. So it looks like it's the number 6, Jordan Henderson. I'm surprised at that, given his performance today. But this is the 2 substitutions. Henderson and Yarmouk are off. Vitaly Janelt and Frank Onyeka, the Nigerian international, is on. Your thoughts on that? I'm quite surprised to see Henderson be taken off at this stage.
Yeah, maybe. He did just get a yellow card, and the midfielder's getting a bit more combative now. He is 35 years of age, of course. But Brentford will hope.
Forget that, don't you?
Yeah. It's tiring playing against this Man City side, especially chasing the ball for that long.
The throw by Coyote. It bounces back out to Coyote. He gets a cross in, but that is far too close to the gaping hands of Gianluigi Donnarumma, who will be looking for a World Cup this time round. It's a long ball over the top. Surely Savinho is in an offside position there. And finally, the official's flag does go up on the far side. But just switching things to the World Cup, Italy have failed to qualify for the last 2 World Cups. There's no guarantee this time round either, because they do have to reverse a 3-0 turnaround if Norway continue to win, as well as continuing to win their remaining games themselves. It could be another playoff test for the Azzurri in this qualifying campaign.
And that would be shocking, really. Italy are one of the staples of football, of world football. They've won multiple World Cups. They're, one of the reigning, just 5 years ago, won the European Championships, and they might be out of a 3rd straight World Cup.
Well, the ball is launched into the Manchester City penalty area. It's plucked out to the air by Donnarumma. Jeremy Doku is readying himself to come on as well. Jeremy Doku has been absolutely outstanding this season for Manchester City. Also, Bernardo Silva down there is readying himself to come on. So it looks like they are wanting to go for the juggler and finish off this game, Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, just really good technical player. Bernardo Silva, you'd expect him to get on the ball and just calm things down a little bit. You know, Brentford, they're going to want to make it frantic in these last 15 minutes or so. And if you're Man City, you just want to keep the ball, get on it, and keep it calm.
Well, there's 15 minutes to go in this game at the G-Tech Community Stadium. We're going to see Doku and Silva now. We're just going to see who's coming off. I think Phil Foden might be one of them. Oscar Bob is one. So Oscar Bob is going. And the other one is... I'm trying to see who that is. Reiners. So I'll just run through these for you. So it's Tiani Reiners and Oscar Bob who have gone off. Again, I'm really surprised given Oscar Bob's performance today. And coming on is Bernardo Silva and Jeremy Doku. Your thoughts on that, Bruno?
Yeah, I think like for like in both areas, really. I think Doku, similar to Bob, is a direct winger, is going to run at the defence. And Bernardo Silva, we know how good he is technically on the ball. And, you know, City, they're just going to try and see this game out now.
Well, there's going to be a yellow card flash there because he wasn't back the full 10 yards. And that has gone to Mateus Nunes. Somewhat harsh because the free kick, I think, was deliberately played against Nunes. And that's warranted Nunes a yellow card. And it's going to be a free kick now to Brentford that finally will be taken. And it's going to be Queven Kelleher that's going to take this free kick here. It's about 10 yards inside his own half of the field. Launches it downfield, up in the air, trying to win that one. I think that's Damsgaard, isn't it? Just loses that. Erling Haaland is now down on his backside, being helped up there by Ruben Diaz. Actually, that's Sepp Vandenberg challenging with Erling Haaland, and Haaland caught by Sepp Vandenberg there. The big man will be okay, I suspect, Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, just smart play from Haaland in the opposite box that we expect to see him in. But good defending, just gets his body in the way, draws the foul. Good stuff from City number 9.
Ball cleared away only as far as Foden. Foden tries to win the ball back, and finally it's hooked away by Vandenberg. And Schade is challenging this one, but Schade is alleged to have fouled Nico Gonzalez. Ran into Gonzalez, the substitute. And it's going to be a free kick inside the centre circle. As time ticking down now for Brentford to get an equaliser. And really, as you say, that they really have been... they had this wonderful start to the second half, but just in the last 5-10 minutes or so, it all seems to have fizzled out a little bit, Bruno.
Yeah, and I think the changes, maybe the reason for that. They were looking on good stead. And, City will do this to you. They'll just keep the ball and they'll starve you of any possession. And I think Brentford, they had their spell. They had the massive chance through Igor Thiago. They couldn't take it. And it looks like with 15 minutes to go, it's going to haunt them.
Well, here's ball was picked up there by Gonzalez out wide there. Picking the ball up now is trying to see who that is. It's Tiani Reiners, I think. And here is Gonzalez and Savinho actually over on that far side. Savinho tries to play the pass, but that comes off Hickey and goes out of play. I suspect Aaron Hickey will be glad to see the back of Oscar Bob in this game. How demoralising must it be for a player to have struggled against Oscar Bob all the way through the game, and you find out that your next opponent is Savinho. Doesn't make you feel very good, I suspect.
No, I mean, that's just the quality that Man City have, isn't it? They're brilliant in all positions and off the bench, just as good.
Throw in here for Brentford. It's a long one. Run there comfortably by Nunes, and header won again though by Gonzalez. Haaland tries to bring the ball under control. It's back to Gonzalez. Here is Nunes now, and Savinho back to Foden. 10 minutes to go in this game, and here is Gonzalez back to Nunes. As once again now, I feel it's going to be very much game management time for Manchester City at this stage. They will just keep possession, and as you rightly said, Bruno, they're just going to starve Brentford of any possession, of any chances. And the ball is played forward here to Doku. Doku trying to get away from Kiyode, and it's rolled away from Doku, and now perhaps Brentford could come forward. The ball is out wide down to the left-hand side, to out on this left-hand side. The cross coming into the area, and it's just away there. Brentford, well, it was Matthias Jensen getting that cross in, and it's just over the head of the man in the middle. And here come Manchester City now with Bernardo Silva to Doku. Doku holds the ball up. Back to Bernardo Silva again. He's got a bit of time and space. Gvardiol. And still 1-0 to Manchester City. Is it going to finish that way, or are we going to see something else happen before the end? City not in any hurry. Is quite happy to keep possession of the ball. And here is Gvardiol out wide to Doku. Doku now deciding not to run at the defence. He tried to play the ball forward, looking for the run of Josko Gvardiol, but that was cleared away that time by Sepp van den Berg. And it's a throw in to Manchester City, which Nico O'Reilly is going to take. About midway inside the Brentford half of the field. O'Reilly is going to have to retake this throw in again, and there's another yellow card coming out here. And just trying to see, the yellow card is being waved at. O'Reilly is confused. I think, is it O'Reilly that's going to pick up that yellow card? The ball is out of play again now, and it is O'Reilly. So O'Reilly goes into the referee's notebook, and perhaps for a little bit of gamesmanship there. But with 6 minutes to go, do you see a way back for Brentford?
I think if you'd have asked me maybe 15 minutes ago, I'd have said yes. But, you know, they've really struggled to get any of the ball in this last 5-10 minutes. And you just feel like City are just going to kill this game off. But you just need one chance if you're Brentford.
Dango Otara now is going to get a yellow card. And he's arguing with the referee still. And I can see it's Collins that's trying to just move Otara away. I'm not sure exactly what Otara did wrong there, but he seems to be the man that's picked up the booking. I don't know if it's for the complaint. That's the only thing I can think of it for, because I can't see anything else there.
Yeah, I mean, he went down clutching his face from a challenge, which didn't look like there was much in it from Gvardiol. And then maybe it was just a little bit backlash to the referee, give him a bit of his mind, and he's been booked for his troubles.
6 minutes to go. Brentford are still just behind the 8 ball, lose behind to Manchester City 1-0. Donnarumma is going to take this free kick, and the ball is launched forward. The header is won by Sepp van den Berg, headed on again though by Ruben Diaz. Now it's with Jeremy Doku, and Doku just not able to bring that ball under control and allows it to roll out of play. And it's going to be a throw into Manchester City, which Nico O'Reilly will take. And he is looking there for Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland trying to turn away. He's pulling the shirt there, Sepp van den Berg. The referee just gives a warning to Haaland as the ball rolls behind for a goal kick anyway. You can see here that Haaland has got a good amount of the shirt of Sepp Vandenberg. Looking for a souvenir perhaps. Here's Janelt, long ball forward. And chasing this one is Schade. Can he get behind the Manchester City defence, Schade? No, it's cleared away by Ruben Diaz, and that is really good work by the Manchester City defence, just closing Brentford out here. Here's Jeremy Doku. Oh, he tried to get away, but it was a fine challenge by Jensen. Throwing now for Brentford. It's going to be taken by Coyote. Well, Coyote has left it, and he's walking away. Finally, he's actually has gone back for it, but he's gone to take a towel to dry the ball. And this is all seconds being ticked down as we have 4 minutes left in this game. And I'm going to ask you for the player of the match, Bruno, in about 2 or 3 minutes time. So the throw-in is going to be taken by Kayade. Is he going to go for another long one? Once again, Darren England just making sure everything is in order. We can see the distance that Coyote can get on these, and he's going to go for another long one now, and it gets all the way to the 6-yard box. The heads go up, it's bouncing around there and cleared away by Bernardo Silva. Hickey tries to play the ball into the penalty area again. Otara tries to bring the ball down, and it's cleared away again, but it's won back by Jensen, and Doku wins the ball back now for Manchester City. He's going to take the ball down the left-hand side. Oh, good challenge that time by Onyeka. And Brentford have the ball again. And this time Jensen goes for a long pass, looking for Schade, but that's dealt with by Mateus Nunes. And cleared away by the Manchester City Portuguese star Bernardo Silva. And it's now back with the goalkeeper Kelleher. Right from Nathan Collins, and picked up here by Hickey. Christopher Ayer, and well, Bruno, you can see Brentford just trying to maybe throw one last throw at it. Schade tries to launch the ball forward. It's now picked up by Onyeka. Brentford pressing forward, looking for the one opportunity that's going to unlock that Manchester City defence. Ball is out wide here to Coyote again. Coyote trying to get away past Nico O'Reilly. Oh, really smart defending by O'Reilly. That's outstanding. Finds Phil Foden. Back to Foden again. O'Reilly one more time. Is dispossessed that time by Ayer. Frank Onyeka loses the ball now, and Manchester City can break forward. Over the halfway line is Bernardo Silva. And here's Foden. Oh, really good pass to Silva again. And now out on the far side is Savinio. Savinio gets into the penalty area. He's got a bit of space there. Savinio, he opted not to shoot. And at the next stoppage in play, I'm going to ask Bruno for the player of the match at the next stoppage in play. But here is Manchester City moving forward now with Mateus Nunes, as they're quite happy now to keep possession. And they'll probably go all the way back to Donnarumma ultimately here. But here's Ruben Diaz, who does in fact go all the way back to Gianluigi Donnarumma. And he's going to clear. Oh, there's a chance here! Oh, Donnarumma played it off Otara, I think it was. Or was it Kevin Schade? It was Kevin Schade. Donnarumma just taking his time as Schade closing in, and well, that could have gone anywhere, Bruno.
Wow, my goodness, Donnarumma living very dangerously there. Tried to clear it. Schade, great pressing, gets the foot there, and I think it's gone out for a corner. Brentford are going to have maybe one more chance.
They are, and it must have come off Donnarumma on the bounce back, but that was very dangerous. We'll get your man of the match after this corner, actually. And it's going to be taken on this near side. And it's probably going to be Christopher Ayer, who's been taking them from that side. And it's going to outswing this one. It's actually Jensen. Jensen up in the air, it's cleared away. Picked up by Otara. Otara out on the wing. That's not really where he'll want to be, but he does get the cross in, and it's hooked away by Gavardiol. As we have 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this game. And here is Hickey now for Brentford as they press. And maybe one last opportunity. Launched into the box. Donnarumma comes up and puts a fist on it. And out for a throw-in. So, Bruno, why don't you give your man of the match today, please?
Yeah, well, as it stands, the game will have been won in the first half, and the best player in that first half for me was certainly Oscar Bobb on the right wing for Manchester City. Really direct, really impressive play. And, Brentford just couldn't deal with him in that first half. And, he could have had 1 or 2 assists, certainly. But for me, play of the match today, Oscar Bobb.
Thank you very much. The player of the match, sponsored by Football Live, goes to the number 52 for Manchester City, Oscar Bobb. Here's Sharda, though, looking to try to spoil the party here. Back to the edge of the area, and the shot is over the crossbar. And, well, that's disappointing from Hickey. He got his foot underneath that. But is that, do you think, now, Bruno?
You'd probably assume so. I mean, one more corner it was for Brentford. Will they have another chance? They're making another substitution on now. They bring on Carvalho for Aya, an attacking sub, taking off a centre-back for an attacking midfielder. Could this prove to be the last roll of the dice? Will they get another chance?
Well, that's all they can do at this point. So Aya goes off, and Cavallo comes on, and is it maybe a little too late? But we'll see. It's cleared downfield here. One in the air there by the big Viking, Erling Haaland, and that's Dango Otara playing the ball forward, but that's really well read by Nico O'Reilly, and he is now going to take this throw-in. And Jeremy Doku goes down under the challenge there, Frank Onyeka, but nothing doing, says the referee, and it's in fact a throw-in for Brentford now, as we have about 90 seconds left of stoppage time. Pep Guardiola tried to tell the fourth official where the throw-in should be taken. And it goes back to Queenan Kelleher, who's on the halfway line. He launches the ball forward, but it's one back, and now here's Josko Gavardiol, and Kelleher having to scramble back to his goal. Here is the number 11 here for Jeremy Doku. Good challenge that time, though, by Frank Onyeka, and it's going to be it actually turns out to be a throw into Brentford, as we are inside the last minute, but they have got it at the wrong end of the pitch, Bruno. It's right level with their own penalty area. They need to get the ball forward if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, the seconds tick away, less than a minute to go, and it just looks like City are going to hold on. It's been a better, more spirited second half from Brentford, but it looks like they're just going to come up short to a more dominant City side.
Well, they've got the ball here with Bernardo Silva, and we've got seconds left in this one at the G-Tech Community Stadium, but City haven't had it all their own way, especially in this second half. Brentford have really put in a real change of effort in the second half, and have really looked threatening at times during this second half. The throwing is long there. It's won there by Hickey, headed on again by Gonzalez, flicked on there by Haaland, and finds Doku. And Doku's in an offside position, gets a shove off one of the Brentford defenders, and it's going to be a free kick now to the Bees, which the goalkeeper Kelleher is going to take, as I think the referee will probably blow his whistle after this free kick. It's launched long. Haaland tries to win it, but it's won by Otara, and well, it went over the head of Donnarumma for a moment there, but calmly he just goes back, collects that, and throws the ball out. And now it goes out of play for a throw-in, and that's it. That is full time. The goal on 9 minutes by Erling Haaland is enough. A better second half by Brentford, even created a few chances, but it wasn't enough to get them back into this game. Bruno, why don't you give me your assessment of Manchester City's victory today?
Yeah, I think it's a fair result. I think that first half was just so utterly dominant by City that they merited that lead, probably merited even more going into the second half. But that second half was really good by Brentford. They came back, they had a really good chance at the start of the second half. After that, never created too much, couple of half chances, nothing more. But they limited City to no chances really in that second half, but just came up short. Not enough attacking prowess for Brentford, but it's a decent performance, especially in that second half. For City, it's a big 3 points. They really needed them at a place that's tough to go to, we know. But City, 3 points, up into fifth, and a good day for Manchester City.
Well, thank you very much, Bruno, for joining us and for your much insightful assessment today. We really appreciate it. I'm going to hand you back over to Russ Vernon now.
Thank you very much there, Paul, James and Bruno Winter, for excellent coverage of the game between Brentford and Manchester City. We're going to force and both of those two in just a moment, just about how both these teams build on to what they've had today or what they've not got today after the international break. And there were a lot of positives in that second half for Brentford to build on, if you will, and where they played in the second half was fantastic to see. Well then, let's take a look then at the full-time scores in the Premier League and then tell you how the Premier League table shapes up after the week number 7 in the Premier League then, shall we? And here are the Premier League scores from the weekend in full then. So here we go then. Starting off on Friday night, it was Bournemouth 3, Fulham 1. On Saturday afternoon, it was Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Arsenal 2, West Ham United 0. Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0. Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. Then on Sunday afternoon, it was Aston Villa 2, Burnley 1. Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1. Newcastle United 2, Nottingham Forest 0. And Ange Postecoglou winless in his first 7 games as Nottingham Forest boss. Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Brighton of Albion 1, and the match you've just heard was Brentford 0, Manchester City 1. So the second part of our double header on Brace on Sunday from the Premier League sees Brentford fall to defeat against Manchester City. Goal coming on 9 minutes. The difference from Erling Haaland, who's always good in front of goal and give him opportunities like he had today and like he scored from. He's never going to miss those kind of chances for today's games. As you can see, the rest of the scores on the Premier League going across the bottom of your screen, along with today's score there from this game today. So before we give you the table, which we'll give you just before we finish, then we'll remind you of the results again from the Premier League just before we finish today. Let me just bring in, first of all, the co-commentator for today. And just before we do that, the first time ever that has happened in the history of Nottingham Forest that a manager has lost the first 7 games that in charge of the club. And just to tell you what we've got next up on the channel before we get into the nitty-gritty of this game today, is next Sunday we're at Hampden Park for the European qualifier, welcome qualifier for Scotland against Belarus. Kick-off for that one is at 5 p.m. next Sunday, the 12th of October. Join us for that one if you can. But if not, you can always listen back to our coverage of our games. And if you're listening for the first time today, please, or any day you listen to our coverage, please make sure you press the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you're notified every time we go live here on the Commenttary Hub. And if you listen to us on Twitch today, so if we're only bringing you one part of the Brace on a Sunday, with it being a Burnley game, we decided to bring that one over on JB Sports as well as the main 2 channels for Premier League coverage, which is the Commenttary Hub and Storm FM. With our Twitch viewers, we were back to the Manchester City game this evening. So then, without further ado, let's bring in the man who's been sat alongside Paul Paul James, and that's Bruno Winter. First game back on the towel in quite a while for Bruno. And City get the winning. Bruno, just look at City then moving forward. Do you think they've got enough to potentially finish in that top four after a very slow start to the season?
Yeah, I think that they'll certainly be up there challenging with those first few. We'll see how Chelsea respond. Can Bournemouth and those sort of teams stay up there for the full season? We know City, they've done it year in, year out. They've been competitive. I think we're probably aspirations of being a little bit more so this year, challenging for that title. And we'll see, because we've seen Arsenal and Liverpool drop points already. City, we know how good they are. They just need to keep winning. And after that, we'll see what happens.
Yes, and Paul, a question to you, my friend, and we'll bring you in on this one, Paul. Looking at what you've seen from Brentford today and in other games from this season, do you feel like you've seen enough to say that Brentford will be a team that will stay in the division under Keith Andrews?
Yeah, I think so. One guarantee relegation for me is Burnley. They just do not have enough in their squad to stay up. West Ham, it really depends on how long Nottingham Forest choose to hang on to Ange Postecoglou for. I know that sounds really mean, but I think given what's going on at Forest right now, I don't think Ange Postecoglou is the right man. I think if they keep him for the entire season, there's every chance he could take them down. I think West Ham can probably get out of the position that they're in. So it's very difficult to say, but I just think Brentford might have enough to stay up.
Yes, and Bruno, same question to you. From what you've seen in that, based off that second half performance and what you've seen in other matches from Brentford so far, do you think they've got enough to stay in that division?
I think so. I think it will come down, to the end of the season, who can get those wins against each other when they play. West Ham host Brentford in the next match week after the international break. That will be a key game. I agree with Paul there. I think Burnley just don't quite have enough. I think Wolves have started really poorly as well. Forest, they should have too much to be able to fight relegation, but they're fighting on all fronts. They're going to try to be strong in Europe as well, and we've seen that in the past, that teams that play Europe and Premier League for the first time, that they struggle with keeping it up in both competitions. And we saw last year Ange Postecoglou really struggle to keep it up in both competitions. What will happen? I'm not too sure with Brentford. They impressed me in that second half, but they need to play like that for 90 minutes, because otherwise they'll get results like they did today, which, as well as they played in the second half, they didn't really create anything of their own accord. In the first half, they could have been 3 or 4 down, really.
Yes, absolutely. They could have been in if you weren't for the Queeving Keller, who we touched upon in that game as well. You touched upon him during the commentary. He was a key player for Liverpool when Alisson weren't around last season, and he's just shown a shrewd bit of business by Brentford when they didn't know. You see, he came in before Keith Andrews was named as manager. Before they knew who manager was going to be after Thomas Frank had left, they went out, got him in, and that proved to be a shrewd acquisition based off what he's done at Liverpool before. And I think he could be one of the, I'm not saying he will be nominated as the signing of the season, but he could be one of the signings of the season if he helps Brentford, along with Brentford get goals and play like the second half, keep them up, because his saves today really did keep their goal difference to a really good level rather than letting it go down quite drastically, Bruno. Would you have to agree with that?
Yeah, I think, he wouldn't be the first goalkeeper to really impress in a side that's sort of down there in the relegation sort of areas. And yeah, he's a shrewd signing, Kelleher, in that Brentford goal. But they're going to need more than that. He's there to prevent goals. They're going to need to score them, because other than a chance that was gifted to them, they didn't create too much today. And that's going to be the key areas for them.
Yes, absolutely. Paul, Bruno just touched upon there with Brentford. They need to score goals, which we all know that in the Premier League, you need to score goals to stay in the division. It's the key part of staying up, scoring goals, winning games, gain a point from games. We're touching on Keller. Do you think he's a shrewd acquisition for Brentford? And say if they were to stay up, scare the goals, and if they look back, say on this game, So they're still by, say, a point or whatever, and they look at this game and thinking, or still on goal difference, for example, Paul, and they look back on this game and think, if we kind of weren't in our net on that game, we may have lost, say, by 3 or 4-0, and that could have sent us down, say, for step on goal difference. Do you look back on this game with some of the key saves that he made today?
Well, you see, I always look at teams that survive, and I'm talking about survivors. I'm not talking about teams that get promoted and ultimately end up playing in, around the top 10. I'm talking about the teams that finish in 16th and 17th place. Those teams that come up and do that usually have a couple of things in common. They normally have a very good goalkeeper and a good defence. You take Burnley when they came up the first time under Sean Dyche. Good defence, good goalkeeper. And that is how teams survive in this division. So for Brentford, I think they've got good good goalkeeper. I think they are struggling defensively. And they do need to score goals. I agree with Bruno. They're not scoring enough at the moment, I don't think.
Yes, let's just turn our attentions away from this game then, Paul, because you mentioned in the brief chat before that you think Burnley could go down. We both saw that game, we covered that game here as part of the race on Sunday on the Commenttary Hub. That was the first part of the double header here on the channel today. Looking back at that Burnley game, they did pull a goal back in the second half, but they didn't have an awful lot going forward, and there were signs of defensive failures at times. Although Burnley did have a few good chances, the defensive failures, which is let them down, and both were goals. I would say the first goal was a defensive lapse, but the second one you would say is a defensive lapse. But the first one, good ball, good pick out, and he go just wrong side of Esteve, Paul, and so you think if Esteve go on the right side, that goal may have been prevented, or if he'd have pushed him a bit further wide, he just allowed him back inside, so the defensive mix up there. But the good ball, nevertheless, from Morgan Rogers. What do you think to that game today, Paul? I've been watching that before doing this game today, because I thought that was a really good game to watch and a really good game to pick as part of the brace on Sunday here on the Commenttary Hub.
Having seen both goals, I couldn't watch the whole game because I was preparing for this one, and also trying to produce at the same time, so I couldn't watch the whole game. But what I can tell you is that Burnley defensively today was shocking. Esteve gave too much space. It didn't get close enough. The fact that there was space around in the penalty area when the opportunities were there for Villa, they could have had more. Burnley, on the other hand, did not create enough going forward. If you take a look at the stats for that game and you look at the amount of chances that Villa had compared to Burnley, it's quite staggering.
It is, Paul, and you've got to say that Burnley, another promoted side, built on a good defence last season, lost the goalkeeper, who they had in goal last season in James Shepherd, to Manchester City, but majority of the defence is the same. Do you think it's I'm not just putting the blame on the Burnley goalkeeper in Dubravka today, Paul, but do you think the lack, and obviously Walker was in there today from last season, Twanzebe, Lauren in there, but the majority of the back four have stayed at the club, weren't involved today for one reason or another. Do you think the lack of confidence from the defence in the goalkeeper maybe starting to show in terms of Burnley being poor defensively as well as positionally awareness as well?
No, absolutely not. I think Martin Dubravka has been a key signing for Burnley, and I think he some of the saves he's made has been incredible. I don't think he is the one to be pointing fingers at. I think defensively, Burnley have been wide open at times. Look, they've had 15 shots against them today, 7 on target. Burnley had 2 shots on target, and they weren't particularly good chances, apart from the one that forced a save out of Emi Martinez, but 6 corners, an expected goals ratio of 1.37. To be honest with you, I think that in the long run, I think the defending for Burnley leaves much to be desired at the moment. It's just not the same as the Championship, where a defence like that would do very well in the Championship. But in the Premier League, you are coming up against world-class players every single week. The gap between the Premier League and the Championship is so big that a team coming up almost needs to buy a brand new squad in most cases in order to have any realistic chance of survival. And Burnley didn't do that. They patched over some cracks. That's not going to be enough to keep you up. That is not going to be enough to keep you up, and it's not going to be enough to compete at this level.
Yeah, and I won't really putting the blame on Dubravka. What I'm saying, Paul, is that with the defence from last season, they had a really good connection with the goalkeeper. Do you think the connection, obviously connection takes time between the goalkeeper and the defence, do you think that is what's happening at the moment with Burnley, where they're trying to get that connection with the defence, so the defenders know when the goalkeeper's going to come for crosses or when they need to do it? 'Cause you see that sometimes when a new goalkeeper comes in, it takes time for the defence to adjust to how the goalkeeper's going to be playing. So I was thinking, do you think that's what's happening at Burnley at the moment with the defensive frailties there?
No, that's an internal matter that we're not going to know. We would be guessing on whether or not the Burnley defence have confidence in Dubravka. What I would say, the logical answer to that is, given the saves that he's made and the performances that he's been putting in, they should have confidence in him. But again, we don't know whether they do or whether there's other matters at hand that are going on internally. We'd be speculating on that. But if I was to, the most logical answer I can give, given his performances, the defence should feel very confident in Martin Dubravka.
Yes, absolutely. Just want to switch our attention to yesterday's action for a moment, and a game which took place at the Emirates Stadium yesterday. Arsenal took on West Ham. Paul, obviously I know you was covering that game for our partner channel, sponsored the Player of the Match in Football Live. What did you make of that game yesterday, Paul? And do you think Arsenal were deserved winners in that game against West Ham yesterday?
Deserved winners, yes, but at times they rode their luck. West Ham just didn't create enough in the game for me. They were second best to Arsenal for much of the game. There was a lack of creativity there. I think they were giving Arsenal too much respect. I don't think they tried to get at the Arsenal defence enough for me. I think ultimately, they just at the beginning, up until the first goal, West Ham were coming forward, were trying to create things, but after that first goal went in, it was almost as if it was a completely different West Ham team. There was no creativity. There was nothing going forward from West Ham really after that point.
I just want to ask you as well, Bruno, on the West Ham Arsenal game as well from yesterday. What did you make to that game yesterday? And obviously Paul reckons he was deserving for us. So would you echo that sentiment? So what did you make to the game overall yesterday, if you managed to see, my friend?
Yeah, from a slightly sadder point of view, a West Ham point of view, it was a really disappointing performance from West Ham. And let's not forget, West Ham have taken 6 points in the last 6 at the Emirates prior to the match yesterday, but they just created absolutely nothing. David Raya had nothing to do. The game, you just felt, could West Ham keep it close and then maybe nick one on the break or from a set piece? I think that was the game plan. I guess from a West Ham perspective, at least you didn't concede from a corner, which was something we've had problems with all season, and I guess what was most dangerous for us. But West Ham, they need to improve in the attacking areas. They've got some decent talent up there, but you just feel it will take time for Nuno to sort of bed in his tactics. But it's such a huge game next in 2 weeks against Brentford on a Monday night.
Yes, absolutely. Just one final one to you, Bruno, then just before we do wrap up this show today, do you think that Nuno is the right man to replace Graham Potter at West Ham? Being a West Ham fan, looking at it from what you've seen from under Potter and then the first few games under Nuno as well, obviously, but always arrested, but from what you've seen under Nuno so far, do you think he's going to be the right man to steer you away from and steer West Ham away from relegation?
Yeah, I think so. I think Nuno's a safe pair of hands in the Premier League, really. I think Potter was just so uninspiring. It just got towards a point where he had to go. The fans were so disappointed with the style of play. And I don't think Nuno's going to be an exciting style of play, but he's going to get us the points we need to stay in the division. And then hopefully, can we have a good transfer window in the summer or in January maybe and kick on from there to a style of play which, people may not like on the eye, but it's got Nottingham Forest and Wolves to European spots.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much then to Bruno Winter and to Paul James as well. Just before we do wrap up, then let's just recap our next offering here on the Commenttary Hub. It's next Sunday, 12th of October, 5 p.m. kickoff at Hampden Park for Scotland against Belarus in the World Cup qualifier, European qualifiers for the World Cup in 2026. Let's take a look then at the results from the Premier time, and then a recap, and then I'll go through the Premier League table as well at the end of the weekend's games. So starting off in the Premier League results then, Friday evening, Bournemouth 3, Fulham 1. On Saturday afternoon, it was Leeds United 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2, Arsenal 2, West Ham United 0, Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0, Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. On Sunday afternoon, our first game in the brace on Sunday was Aston Villa 2, Burnley 1, Everton 2, Crystal Palace 1, Newcastle 2, Nottingham Forest 0, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1, Brighton 1, and our game today was Brentford. In this game this afternoon was Brentford 0, Manchester City 1, thanks to Erling Haaland with the goal there. Let's take a look then at the tables then after this one, starting off in the top half of the table, and after the defeat for Liverpool yesterday and the victory for Arsenal now top of the table. Liverpool 3 straight defeats in all competitions now for Arne Slot's side. Arsenal gone top by a point. Tottenham into third on 14 points after the victory over Leeds United. Bournemouth into fourth on 14 points after their victory as well this weekend over Fulham. Man City up to fifth after their victory over Brentford this afternoon in the game they've had today. Crystal Palace in sixth despite losing to Everton, who were up to that victory. Chelsea are in seventh after Man City's victory and got down to seventh. Chelsea. Sunderland in ninth and Man United up into 10th place after their victory over Sunderland yesterday. Into the bottom half of the table then, and Newcastle in 11th on 9 points. Brighton are in 12th on 9 points. Aston Villa are in 13th on 9 points. Fulham are in 14th on 8 points. Leeds into 15th on 8 points after their defeat to Spurs yesterday. Brentford in 16th on 7 points. Nottingham Forest are in 17th on 5 points. And then the bottom three is Burnley on 18th on 4 points. West Ham in 19th on 4 points. And Wolves with their second point of the season into rocking up at the bottom of the table in the Premier League. So that's all we have got time for then this afternoon. Big thank you to Bruno Winter for joining us after a long time away on co-commentary for the game this evening. Big thank you to as well to Paul James for excellent coverage from you both today. Really did enjoy working with you. That's all we have got time for then. For myself, Russ Vernon, Paul James and Bruno Winter on this coverage this afternoon. Make sure you join us next Sunday for the World Cup qualifier between Scotland and Belarus. Until then, take care and thank you very much for listening. On behalf of everyone here at the Commenttary Hub, thank you for enjoying your Sunday afternoon with us here on Sunday the 5th of October. Full time here with the G-Tech. Brentford 0, Manchester City 1. From all the team here. Goodbye.